Hi there, hope you're having a great day. In today's video, we're going to be talking about insecurity. We're going to look at exactly what the root cause of insecurity is. Plus, I have 3 ways for you to turn everything around and start feeling more confident about yourself today. Hi there, and welcome to the Booksters Club, where we find daily inspiration from the books you love. Today's featured book is The Instruction by Ainslie Mscleod, and today's inspirational thought comes to us on both page number 185 and 186. It says, "Insecurity is the most common challenge. As a result, few people get through life without feeling its effect. Most individuals with this challenge have suffered some kind of emotional instability in their life. If love is conditional upon certain behavior, or if mom or dad is kind and loving one minute but withdraws love the next, then the child will lose the feeling of security." Your insecurity was most likely formed when you were a small child, and that's where you had the trauma of being exposed to the idea for the very first time that you aren't perfect. When we're small children, we don't have that idea. We do believe that we are not perfect in a sense that we're comparing ourselves to others, but almost an oblivion to the fact that there is a comparison. We're just whole people, and there is no need to kind of categorize ourselves as being perfect or not perfect, or whether or not there's even something wrong with us. So when you were a small child, that's that first time that you were given the awareness of, there is a comparison out there. And in fact, Dr. Lisa Firestone said that insecurity is actually, what she calls it, is the critical inner voice. And she actually said that it is formed out of painful early life experiences we adopt and integrate this pattern of destructive thoughts towards ourselves and others. So it is important that when we were children that we were validated just being ourselves, and that if you've had the experience, which I would say 99.9% of people probably did, have the experience where our parents were actually telling us that, hey, you're doing, being, or saying something that does not agree with me, and I'm trying to, shape you into a good citizen, so don't do that again. But just the thought alone of us recognizing that, oh, what I am isn't good enough for my parents or for their love, or what we perceived as them not loving us for that moment, for reprimanding us, well, then that can create some insecurities. The problem with insecurities is that we never look at them again. They're too painful, right? So when we have that experience as a young child, we really just let that become the ugly monster that it is, because we just think to ourselves that that is true, that believing that something is wrong with us is in fact reality. And so we never really take a look at it to diminish it anymore. So I have 3 ways for you to really look at that so you can diminish it today. The first thing to do is to really go back and take a look at that child and see where it was that you actually had that first experience of being less than, and recognize that you didn't know any better. You either did the best you could with what you knew how, or you were primed for that behavior, either by the way that your parents kind of behaved and you kind of adopted that, or that that's what was normal to you, but then you were punished for it. So because you were punished for it, that's when you kind of claimed it as, this is me and this is bad. And, really ask yourself, if someone ever called you stupid, are you really stupid, or did you just not study for that test? The second thing you can do is to build self-confidence and self-esteem by actually taking a look at what you thought was a setback. When we experience that kind of trauma and we identify that we have something that we're not necessarily good at, we actually try to come up with situations and scenarios to avoid ever being in that situation where that insecurity or what we feel that we're lacking in might show up. And so instead of avoiding it, really look at it and try to get better at it. If you were insecure about anything that you felt was, something that other people do really well and you just can't, well, that's a silly belief that you're just bad at it because you were born that way, when in reality that's not true. You just didn't work on it like everybody else did, and you were afraid to because you felt insecure about it. So understanding that now you just need to look at that, focus on it, and then get better at it is going to help you build self-confidence. In fact, when I was younger, education was not really that important. In fact, I miss a lot of days of school when I was in elementary school. So by the time I got to 4th grade, I actually was an awful reader, and I was made fun of for not being able to read. And when I was 16 years old, I actually read my first book cover to cover, but my comprehension skills were not there. I felt like I would read something and then not be able to understand what it was that I just read. So I actually started writing down what I had just read, and it would be like sentence to sentence, then paragraph to paragraph, and then I would get to like page to page, where I would read a page, write down, okay, what just happened, and then go to the next page. And eventually it got to the point where I didn't need to do that anymore, and I got my comprehension up, and obviously the reading ability was able to improve. And it was only because I was able to say, this is something I really want to do. It was always something I was insecure about. And what's funny is now I'm doing the Booksters Club because I actually love reading books. And, I mess up reading all the time. Thank goodness I can, edit it out. But I still love doing it, and I know I'm just going to get better at it. So if there's something that you're insecure about, instead of shying away from it, instead of letting it run your life, really look at it. Get better at it. The third thing is to change your mantra. In fact, Elizabeth Gilbert said to change your mantra because you already have one. Recognize that when it comes to your insecurities, you're already speaking negatively about yourself in your own mind. That's what Lisa Firestone was saying. It's that critical inner voice. So just recognize that that needs to change, and that can become a habit. So start speaking to yourself with love and kindness that your best self, your true self really truly deserves, and just recognize that it is just more fun to be magnificent and not perfect. And we all make mistakes. It's no big deal. Our insecurities come because we think they are a big deal, and they're not. If any of these things helped you to really tackle that insecurity and understand where it was coming from, and to feel better and more proactive about really getting after the dang thing, I would love to hear about that in the comments. If you had a different take on the part of the book that I shared, a different part in that book, or a different book entirely that you think should be featured here on the Booksters Club, I would also love to hear about that in the comments. Thank you for clicking that like button if you found this video valuable and if you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell if you're new, because I post new videos just like this one every single day. See you tomorrow, Booksters. Hey there, I hope you're having a great day. Insecurity, let's see, in your early life experience. Okay, you're talking. Trauma that explain that trauma, what did the trauma do though? It exposed you to the idea that you aren't perfect. Exposed to the idea, the trauma. Insecurity is probably most likely, gave you that first recollection. You're gonna work today. Look at the recollection. I can't say recollection. Don't say it then. We're not gonna say it, then just don't say it. So the first thing to do, don't say something. It's not.